The farming plan will need to be rigorous from a financial and planning perspective across both working capital and long-term capital requirements. From a working capital perspective, the farming plan needs to be compiled in such a way that it meets the working capital requirements of the farm. This includes the farm's need to procure inputs such as seed, fertilizer, pesticides, petrol, etc. Working capital must also pay for recurring costs, things like labor and electricity. And it must be adequate to take into account the long lead times of agricultural production, where cash flows from produce are only enjoyed months, or in some cases, even years after the initial investment has been made. Inadequate working capital is going to result in the farming operation being compromised because the farmer will be unable to procure key inputs. Now, regarding long-term capital, a farmer may borrow larger amounts for longer-term financing needs like farm equipment or infrastructure. So long-term loans from financial institutions may allow a farmer to increase their production, their productivity, and their yields. And the logic behind borrowing these funds is that the higher production and the higher profitability of the farm should exceed the cost of the interest incurred on these loans. And the high profitability should be sufficient to pay back these loans gradually and over time. So where long-term debt is deployed wisely and effectively, it can increase farm output and productivity and profitability. However, if the farmer takes on excessive debt and it's incurred without a corresponding increase in profitability, that farming operation may find itself under pressure and struggling to service the interest payments on the long-term debt. Now, this can distract the farm management, limit their strategic options, and ultimately compromise the farm's operations as a whole.